Can you please tell us about yourself?
Hi, my name is Alex Morris Wood, and I am the head of school at Franklin Academy in East Haddam, Connecticut. I started my career here at Franklin Academy, where I worked for 10 years, started as an intern, was a department chair, and really fell in love with the idea of transition services for neurodivergent students. I left Franklin to head to Beacon College in Leesburg, Florida, where I last served as the vice president for program development and global partnerships, as well as the dean of admissions and the Center for College Readiness, where I developed and founded Navigator Prep, supported the development and expansion of our summer programs. And then Franklin Academy came right back and asked me to be the head of school. Outside of Franklin Academy, I serve as the co-chair of the Disabilities and Neurodiversity Special Interest Group of the National Association of College Admission Counselors, as well as a board member of the College Autism Network, and finishing my doctorate focusing on the perspectives of parents of autistic students as they transition to college. So thrilled that you're here to learn a little bit more about Franklin Academy, our high school, as well as our postgraduate program and our summer program.
Please tell us more about Franklin Academy.
Franklin Academy is a boarding and day school located in East Haddam, Connecticut, roughly 2 hours in between Boston and New York City, geared towards neurodivergent students in grades 8 through 12. Accredited by NEASC, we are one of the original college preparatory schools that when we were founded were initially for students with nonverbal learning disabilities or Asperger's syndrome. And that population has morphed into neurodivergent students, students on the autism spectrum, social pragmatic disorder, ADHD, students with specific learning disabilities, and other co-occurring issues. Our students are fantastic. They come from 37 states, this year 6 foreign countries, and we are roughly about 90 to 95 students, 97% boarding. We like to say that we offer a traditional high school program, just delivered in a non-traditional way. We use a really flexible social emotional curriculum to make sure everything is student-centered, and everything with our executive functioning programming and our skill-based curriculum is integrated in and out of the classroom. When you come to Franklin Academy, you don't have to give up anything. Our students engage in varsity athletics. 40% of our students are part of our theater and performing arts program. We have a fantastic farm on our campus where 30% of our students work with animals, whether it's goats and chickens. Across the street, we partner with a rescue farm all around equine sciences. And at the core of what we're doing here is really doing a lot of preparation through practice, giving students who might learn differently the exposure and the immersion that's necessary to get them ready for what's next. And our graduates have defied outcomes. Our students have gotten accepted to over 450 different colleges and universities. 95% of our students go on to college. This graduating class specifically also received over $4 million in scholarship money for the upcoming fall, going to a range of schools around the United States. Because what we like to say is that a Franklin Academy diploma, because of our unique and differentiated approach to learning, means that our students graduate with a little more self-acceptance, self-assurance, and a clear pathway to the future that they want.
Can you tell us more about the Franklin Academy approach?
At Franklin Academy, we have a unique advising system. So while a lot of schools have an academic advisor, at Franklin Academy, we have a dual advising system. We place equal emphasis on assessing students' skill development in the classroom and out of the classroom. So the academic advisor really is overseeing the student's learning environment, right? Everything from their 504 plans to one-on-one and group-based executive functioning support, ensuring that we're advising students so that they could be challenged and supported, whether that's through tutoring, more structured study halls, maybe implementing strategies related to assistive technology in the classroom and independently. And that academic advisor collaborates really closely with our student life advisor. At Franklin Academy, a lot of our students don't come here just for the academic skill development, but more so for the social emotional growth. So in our world of student life, we focus on independent living, self-care, social integration, and emotional well-being. So both of those advisors are constantly working with our students and their families to identify where our students' strengths are, where they are meeting programmatic expectations, and the frequency and intensity of support services needed to achieve or exceed grade-based norms. They collaborate with a really strong student success team, including members of our Health and Wellness Center. It could be one of our 5 licensed mental health clinicians, our supplemental services, whether that's occupational therapy, speech language pathology. We have a consulting psychiatrist. We have a health center. They might be working with our Associate Dean of College and Career Counseling, who implements a 4-year required college and career readiness curriculum to ensure that the student is graduating with a really holistic program that is focused on both content mastery, skill acquisition, and preparation through practice. Another unique thing about Franklin Academy is that we are a member of the University of Connecticut's Early College Experience program. And about 35% of our students are in dual enrollment courses through UConn by the time they are juniors in high school. So that means our faculty are actually adjunct faculty associated with the University of Connecticut. And it's a great way to get a taste of college. Outside of the academic classroom and throughout our academic supports, we have a really robust student life program. All of our faculty and staff also work in our evening and weekend programming, which allows for us to get to know our students both as learners and community members. That gives our students a really rare chance to take risks, feel vulnerable, and make really deep-rooted connections. So we get to take students off campus, whether that is to local attractions, coffee shops, museums, theme parks, movies, dinners, and really show students how to engage with their peers and with the community around them. So those advisors really collaborate closely with families. And while some boarding schools might push families away, we like to keep them on. One of my goals is to make sure families feel empowered as a member of the Franklin community. So outside of our weekly outreach that we have with parents, we have regular educational sessions every week. I do outreach to all of our families about school updates on a weekly basis. You can partner with our Associate Dean of College and Career Counseling around where you are with those transitional goals. But most importantly, you have those 2 touch point people, your academic and student life advisor, who really case manages and supports the student in their individual goals, their grade-based goals, and their specific strengths.
Can you tell us more about the student body at Franklin Academy?
Students tend to come to Franklin Academy when they realize that probably something in their home environment is not working. The majority of our students either enter Franklin Academy right at 9th grade because they recognize the benefit of the 4-year high school model that we have. So I would say about 20% of our students come in traditionally and then stay for all 4 years. The rest of our students might come in at any year, but the most popular other grade outside of 9th graders are juniors. Right when that time of transition planning is starting, we see junior families realizing that their home environment, whether it's a public school and their school counselor has like a caseload of 300 people, or their private school is not really equipped to support students on their transition to life after high school. So again, you can come to Franklin Academy at any time, 8th through 12th grade, but the majority of our students start in either 9th grade or 11th grade. Students enter Franklin from a variety of different educational settings, mostly from public schools initially. We are starting to see more students come from independent or specialized day schools because they recognize that the boarding component is typically what is missing. I remember working in college and realizing very quickly that the first 3 weeks of your first semester at college has nothing to do with academics. It really is about integrating into a community, adjusting to new environments, and managing independence. So what we are seeing a lot of are families recognizing the role they play in implementing those executive functioning skills at home, and the recognition about early intervention to have a more prolonged impact on post-secondary success. Franklin Academy, again, has about 90 to 95 students. We actually cap out at 95 because we want to make sure that the program that we're delivering is done with fidelity. So we are not looking to become 150 students where sometimes our students get lost, or a really small school that is about 30 students where there's not enough room for different communities. So we are at that really sweet spot where students can take academic and social risks, join different groups, and still have that individualized attention on skill development. Our tuition is all inclusive. And I think that's a really important aspect when you're starting to examine schools. A lot of independent schools are increasing access to neurodivergent learners, which is fantastic. However, similar to higher education, that might come with additional costs. So all of that stuff, advising, college counseling, mental health counseling, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, all of our athletics, our weekend programming, all of that is part of our all-inclusive tuition. We do offer need and merit-based financial assistance. So we have great scholarship programs, including athletic scholarships, community service scholarships, but we also have need-based aid. So you would just work directly with our admissions team to make sure that Franklin Academy is affordable for you.
Please tell us about your summer program at Franklin Academy.
Franklin Academy also runs a summer program in the month of July for students going into grades 8 through 12. We've always had a summer program. That's actually where I had my very first real leadership experiences running our summer program here at Franklin Academy. And so after a couple of years of not running it, I'm really excited to bring it back. Surprise, I'm actually going to be the director of this year's summer program. I am that enthused about returning to my roots of summer experiences. Our summer program really focuses on two main skill domains. Social connections. How do students engage socially with new people? How are they demonstrating social pragmatic skills? And how are they making social decisions? And the second area where we're looking at is all around executive functioning, planning, time management, impulse control, organization skills, flexible thinking. And what happens when students have to implement strategies around those executive functioning domains in a path or a course, as well as in our living and learning community. I really love that about our summer program is that we are emphasizing those two areas. And we look at that through the lens of where students are coming from, assessing them in our summer based off of the context that we're in, as well as where they're going next, what grade they're in, and what their home environment is, so that we could really report back to families in a really authentic and conceptual way how students manage this new environment. Our summer program is small. It's going to be about 35 to 40 students, and I love that size because it really allows for us to get to know the students in such a short period of time. So much could happen in 4 weeks, right? Our program runs from June 29th to July 25th this year. So we want to make sure we really jump on supporting our students, evaluating them in different areas, and really trying out some new strategies to get them excited. We take all of our really cool stuff from our school year and then make it project-based learning in our summer program. So our paths for this summer, for example, are animal science, go and work on our farm, learn about animal husbandry, animal communication, animal welfare. You might want to be part of our robotics program. Maybe you're interested in performing arts. I think the coolest one is going to be forensics, where it's almost like we're creating like CSI on our campus. The FBI is going to come in and do a day with us. We're going to go to different places like the Lizzie Borden House in Salem. And that is really fun because it allows for our students to engage in social and physical sciences in a really high interest area. For our older students, we have a college and work immersion program where they get to try out different courses that you might see in college. I think one of the hardest things about college for students is they forget that they have to take all of those really crummy classes that they thought they'd never have to take again, like writing and math. So what we're doing in our program is that every day we're introducing them to a different general education requirement through a mock lesson. We're going to give them assignments and we're going to just process through, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What does this look like in different institutions of higher education? They'll have an advisor, they'll apply for accommodations. So it's a really experiential opportunity. In the afternoons, then we're working on vocational skills. We're going to talk about how do we utilize our college education in the workforce? How do you write a resume? What are workplace dynamics like? How do you read an employee manual or a policy manual? How do you apply for workplace accommodations? And then each Wednesday, we're going to go to a different college campus in the local area. So really excited about that. And our summer program is not just about our project-based learning in our class, but it's also about having fun. I think that's really important. So every afternoon, we're going to have different social activities that are short in nature and that are high interest. And then each evening, we're going to have on and off campus trips. And then on Wednesdays and weekends, we call the W's, is all about off-campus excursions. Six Flags New England, Mystic Aquarium, local museums and beaches. But what's important, and maybe the students don't need to know this part, is that we're always kind of assessing how the student is engaging with each other, what are their social thinking skills like, how are they problem solving, and how are we observing them in this group of neurodivergent peers, so that at the end of the summer, we can provide families with a really clear assessment of what skills our students need to work on wherever they're going next. Roughly about 50% of the students coming into the summer are current Franklin students. Some coming are brand new to our school, but a lot of them are coming from public or private schools that don't have summer programs, or families recognize it is a lot of pressure to schedule a summer for your student. 50% of our students are grades 11 and 12. The rest are 8, 9, and 10. And they're coming from all over the place. This summer we have students from Nebraska, Mexico, Colombia. So we're really thrilled to welcome so many students here in East Haddam. Our summer program also offers need and merit-based scholarship. Again, just work with our admissions team about affordability, and hopefully we'll see you here on our campus either this summer or in the future.
Finally, could you please discuss Franklin's postgraduate transition program?
Franklin Academy has a standalone postgraduate program called Franklin College Connections. In all of my years in working in transition programming, collaborating with different high schools and colleges, working in higher education, more and more families are just reporting that their student is just not ready for all of the demands all at one time. And while there are fantastic programs out there, fantastic colleges that support neurodivergent learners, sometimes that leap to higher education could be really scary. So at Franklin College Connections is a small program that is a 13th year option geared towards students that are ages 18 to 21 who are looking for a softer launch into post-secondary landscapes. Those students have kind of what I think is the best of both worlds. They are going to be taking 15 college credits, so basically a semester of college spread throughout the year, either through the University of Connecticut courses taught at Franklin Academy through our early college experience program, or on Middlesex Community College's campus. And what I love about that is that it gives our students the availability to try out classes in a typical environment, work with disability services, take a class that is going to be transferable, and then work closely with their academic and student life advisors about how they feel about it, how they're performing in it, and what does this mean to get them ready for what's next. Our students live in satellite housing around our 75-acre campus here in East Haddam. So they live and learn with peers their own age. There's a lot of other postgraduate programs where it feels like they're very muddied into the lower school. And what I think is so pivotal about Franklin College Connections is that we're really pushing this adult community. You're going to live with 6 to 12 other students in gender inclusive housing, either in single residencies or double residencies. You'll have a kitchen where you're going to learn how to cook and feed yourself. But you also have the benefit of things like our dining hall. So you have a full meal plan as part of your program. Outside of your college coursework, you also get the benefit of our Franklin Academy electives, which are some of the coolest classes that are offered. So maybe you're still interested in fine and performing arts and you want to engage in theater. Being a postgraduate student will still allow you to do that. Maybe you want to explore coding, so you want to take an elective on R. Maybe you're interested in animal sciences, so you could work on the Franklin farm. So this postgraduate program is really this hybrid opportunity, this gray area as you're kind of getting ready for what's next, but you might not be fully ready. Our Franklin College Connections team really supports the same type of development, just with a different kind of context. We're getting you ready for your next transitional goal. We're not trying to keep you here for multiple years. Really, ideally, this is a one-year program. You might be coming to Franklin College Connections with deferred enrollment to various institutions around the United States, or you might be starting from scratch. And if that's the case, or in both worlds, you'd still work with our director and our associate dean of college and career counseling on figuring out what kind of college environment suits you. As you start to get feedback from your instructors, from us, how do we change your list to make sure that we're looking at appropriate fit? Our program is roughly 19 to 20 students. So that's part of that bigger cohort of Franklin Academy. So that gives you a really cool number of students to connect to and to learn from. Franklin College Connections is also an all-inclusive tuition model. So once you pay tuition, that is where your external coursework will come from. Maybe you want to take an internship somewhere or a certificate class somewhere. You could do that through our program. And it would cover all of your meals on campus, your off-campus excursions, and even if you want to be part of our varsity athletics, it would cover that as well.
Big thanks to Alex Morris Wood and Franklin Academy. Please subscribe to Inclusive Academia.